안녕하세요.
오.
Thank you. New rooms. What time them home?
I woke up pissed off today, and lately everyone feels fake. Somewhere I lost a piece of me, smoking cigarettes on balconies. But I can't do this alone. Sometimes I just need a light. If I call you on the phone, need you on the other side. So when your tears roll down your pillow like a river, I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. When you're screaming but they only hear you whisper, I'll be loud for you. But you gotta be there for me too. But you gotta be there for me too. Last year took a toll on me, but I made it with you next to me. Around the world and back again. I hope you're waiting at the end. But I can't do this alone. Sometimes I just need a light. If I call you on the phone, need you on the other side. So when your tears roll down your pillow like a river, I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. When you're screaming but they only hear you whisper, I'll be loud for you. I'll be loud for you. I got you, I promise. But let me be honest, love is a road that goes both ways. When your tears roll down your pillow like a river, I'll be there for you. But you gotta be there for me too. But you gotta be there for me too. Boy, I'm holding on to something, won't let go of you for nothing. I'm running, running just to keep my hands on you. There was a time that I was so blue, what I got to do to show you. I'm running, running just to keep my hands on you. Running, running just to keep my hands on you. Running, running just to keep my hands on you. Said I'm running, running just to keep my hands on you. But you gotta be there for me too. hope you're waiting at the end. Hope you're waiting at the end. You on the other side somewhere. Boy, I'm holding on to something. Won't let go of you for nothing. I'm running just to keep my hands on you. Running just to keep my hands on you. Said I'm running just to keep my hands on you.
You guys know here on this channel, I am very open and honest, and if I don't like something, I don't like something, and if I want to be critical, I'll be critical. And when I say that Jungkook did a very good job, I absolutely mean that. Like, my only form of critique is that the video needed a little bit more variety. I would say he needed a little bit more B-roll. Obviously, you guys as ARMYs and BTS fans, you guys don't mind the fact that it's constantly a shot of Jimin from the back, but I think if he got more shots of like downtown Tokyo, landscape shots, more B-roll, which it started off like that, which was very good, but then throughout the middle it just straight up became walking. And I understand, when you're on the move, when you're traveling, you sort of get in your own head, and when you're just talking with your friend, like, you forget to do things, you forget to get the B-roll of the city, and you just only film the person. That happens. And so I think that's the only thing Jungkook would need to actually work on, is getting more B-roll.
당신에게 진정한 여유가 생긴다면 누구와 무엇을 하며 시간을 보내고 싶습니까? 정국이야 단둘이 여행을.
왜 정국이랑 같이?
네? 제가 정국이를 굉장히 귀여워하거든요.
근데 저번에 다른 라디오에서도 정국이랑 같이 여행 가고 싶다고 이야기했거든요.
근데 정국이 되게 싫어해요.
왜 싫어요? 정국이는
안 받아줘요?
네, 안 받아줘요.